We are live. I forgot my phone. I mean, not my phone, my tablet, so I can share. Yeah. Just real quick, everybody. If you're watching on delay, um, if we get muted, if you're on Facebook and we get muted, just go on YouTube or go on Twitter. Yeah, because those are better.
Yeah, as Facebook be on that booty.
Yeah. So just click the link and go to our YouTube page or go to our Twitter page, which is like HKZ Radio. Or just go to DJ Flyness. You'll find me. You'll find us. All right, let's get some music.
Let's get it.
Yo, one love to my Pleasant Ridge family. Shout out to my people at Greater New Hope, St. Matthew Missionary Baptist Church, Tree of Life. I said this is yo, yeah, come on. I thank God for the people that He gave me. Starting with my parents, that's the people who had raised me. But still, it took a village for the building of the baby, and they produced a man who can stand when it's crazy. Shout out to my brother and my sister, even though the truth be told that you're from another mister. You're my siblings as a whole. Please don't never get it twisted. We let nothing get betwixt us. If you think we bout that drama, oh my mama, you can miss us. True life. Yo, shout out to my wife. I promise God got us and we'll always do what's right. We're blessed to have our children, 3 are black and 2 are white. And when I say I do it for you, then that means I'm do or die. As I try to be like Christ, man. So much love in my fam. Don't see too much fight, Sans. Mama said I'm here for you, and that is true for my friends. I don't have that many, cause my friends become just like fam. They're part of who I am. Yo, God bless me immensely with people standing with me. And since my God is for me, doesn't matter who against me. For every hater I discover, there's at least 10 or 20 people I know love me through the thick and through the skinny. Not just with me when I'm winning, and usually I'm losing. Yo, this is for my people growing with me through the movement. That's DC, JC, GT, J Reed, CC, J Crease, Reed B, KC, K3, Holton and Izzy. Ow, Fonzo on the mix, getting busy. Shout out to Dwayne and Vita, Christy and Christina, Jesus' little brother and Ryan Martinez. Just be Roger that, Andre Wright, and I can't forget my DJ. Yo, word to Genesis, word to Hope Music, word to NYK. Yeah, I'm loving what y'all doing. Yeah, Queen Teal, Hummingbird, Jocelyn, Jasmine, Regenerate, Swin. Yo, strike be going in. Christ, Citra chose to put me on the track once again. Let's we put the gospel back in Christian rap for the win. So this is for my people in reform bars, ninjas in the inbox. Stay away from porn stars, laughing at them TikToks for the gospel going hard. Solid, never flip flop. Crusading Christians, curators of hip hop, creators of dope art. We make it and don't charge. Still speaking to your heart, crafted in His image. We're a people unified, and I'm blessed to have these moments with you here throughout my life. Yeah. See, there's so many I can name. If I didn't name yours, please don't charge it to the game. And understand the truth that I love you just the same. I'm just going off the brain, and I'm saying there's no reason you should ever feel alone, cause my God is on the throne, and we're His people of the road. Yeah, and we're His people of the road. That's the reason you should ever feel alone. You're my people, and we're His people of the road. That's the reason we should ever feel alone. Yeah, and we're His people of the road. And that's the reason you should ever feel alone. You're my people, and we're His people of the road. And there's no reason you should ever feel alone. Yeah. One time for the I Can Network. Yeah, I see you. Yeah. Yo, one more time for my humble kings in the back. Yeah. Grace and peace to Raph and Grace. Grace and peace, B&D fam.
So real quick, how many people you made mad that you
You know,
got their
honestly,
name?
nobody came at me like, man, I didn't see me in the video. But there were some folks. There were some folks who thought that they weren't in the video who came at me.
Oh,
And,
okay.
like I had like,
Like,
man,
did you even watch it? No.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing they did. But some of those folks, some of those pictures, like especially towards the end, like they came by so fast. So it was like,
Oh, okay.
like like one of the shout out to Rashad Jet Black of Forrester. He was like, yeah, man, he threw up his emblem. He's like, I don't see, I didn't hear you shout us out. And then he ends up calling me like apologizing because one of the homies was like, yeah, but your picture was in there. He was like, oh, my bad, man. I didn't know, and then like my album had got reviewed, Carlos Newton. Carlos was like, man, I love Barlow. I think that song was dope, even though he only just gave me a quick little picture. But it's all good, though. I still love him, But it was like he was playing, but like nobody came at my neck for like not being in a video.
Right, right.
And matter of truth be told, man, I actually went back and edited that video like probably like 8 different times because I kept thinking of more people, and I was
Yeah, I
like,
remember you telling me that.
yeah, it's like I'm gonna fit their picture in here. That's like wow, and so
So
yeah,
what I learned real quick before we play sponsors and start the show, while we're waiting on people to come in. So what I learned, I think I told you I had an underground hit. Have I told you that?
that you had an underground hit,
Yeah, that
like
I
you.
produced. Like
Oh,
I
that
didn't
you
rap,
okay.
that I produced.
Okay,
All
okay,
right.
yeah, because that would make sense. Because like if you if you was like it was one,
Stop hating. Stop
hey,
hating.
listen,
All right. I'm gonna
I,
just start sending you some of my old stuff.
please don't.
Little hater. All right. Anyway, so I was a rapper before I was a DJ. Anyway,
I'm praise God for quitting.
yeah, yeah, whatever. I say that every time when you walk away from my turntable trying to DJ. Anyway, anyway, so we
It's a
did a
fact, yeah.
song. We did a song. We decided to do a song for the motorcycle club scene in LA because I was in a motorcycle club. Um, so we did a song. We did a cha cha like slide dance song. Like 'cause when you go in the motorcycle dances and stuff like that, they're usually cha cha or electric slide, whatever. So we did one of those. So long story short, I made a lot of money off of that, off the single before people started bootlegging it. But the point that I'm making, getting to my point, um, my uncle, who was the person who rapped, name dropped. He name dropped me and a bunch of other people in different clubs, and all it did was just made hundreds of people mad that they was a name drop, right? So then you had clubs. So we made one that's just for motorcycle scene, period. And then I named a home. I wrote down a bunch of clubs that I always seeing all the time. So he name dropped those clubs. So then you had a whole mess of other clubs decided that they were gonna make their own motorcycle club song, and it's so funny. Like everybody would come up to us, like motorcycle clubs, and they'd be like, "Oh, we made a song too. It's better than yours." And I'm like, and I would always go, "Well, I hope it is, because we did it
Right,
first. So you have
right,
the option of going. They should have did this. They should have did that. Blah blah blah. It should be better. It's no
right. It's
different
like
if I did this song about you. When you
yeah,
rebuttal, it should be better.
it better be better. Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Like you want it to be better, and then
right,
that's the thing though. Like, please, by all means, tell me my song inspired you to make a better song. You who you
right.
think you hurting? You ain't hurting me.
I was like, you're not really offending me.
Right,
All I see is everybody copying what we did. Like,
right, right. Exactly. Hey, tell me more about how I sunned you without. Tell me more about how I fathered your talent. Come on, help
right,
me.
bro.
Yeah,
That
please.
that that song still get played to this day. So I ain't tripping. I just ain't getting paid off of it.
Yeah, well, that's highway robbery. You not get paid.
Hey, hey,
Yeah.
hey, we sampled something, so we shouldn't have got paid for it anyway. You
Oh,
know,
let's be quiet before you get sued.
I'll play it for
Somebody
you
be,
I'll play it for you when we get off air. It's not bad.
somebody be like, well, you got paid for it?
Yeah, right. How much?
Yeah,
You notice I didn't say how much I made.
right. Three
All
ninety
right.
nine.
Let me let's sponsor time real
Yeah,
quick. Play these videos and then we'll get to the show.
yeah, yeah.
Hey everybody, it's Jonathan Sanders here, Minister of Music at Redbridge Ministries. And hey, we need you. If you are gifted in media, you sing, you dance, you work with cameras, listen, there's a place for you here at Redbridge. If you want to be a part, contact us at 402-779-9823. I can't wait to hear from you. I'll see you soon.
Man, that so need to be updated. All right, you ready? You muted.
Oh, my fault. Next time you talk to Jonathan Sanders, make sure you say something about him licking his lips at the end of that. I can't wait to hear from you.
Oh man, I need to tag him. I need to tag
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
Tag him and go straight to 10 minutes in the video.
yeah. I can't wait to hear from you.
Yeah, right. Let's go.
Humble King's Radio Show.
Yeah, 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 yeah. What's going on, world? No, it's not GTDyne's voice asking you. We miss him. We love him. But it's T. Barlow, Humble King's Radio Show, here with the DJ.
DJ Flyness.
Yeah, man, I was trying to find something smooth to say, but I ain't had nothing.
You ain't had nothing?
I ain't had nothing. Yeah, I'm rusty. It's been a minute.
Right. Well, let's talk about our sponsors real quick before we get into it. Shout out to Red Bridge Ministries for helping us with our streaming. They have worship service every Sunday night. Every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 5020 Grand Avenue in Omaha. That's right behind the Walmart that's on Ames, right there. So if y'all don't know where that's at, that's where it's at. And they have Bible study every Wednesday night from 7 to 8. It's literally from 7 to 8. So make sure just go ahead and show up at 5020 Grand Avenue, right behind that Walmart on Ames, or you can watch on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. They're on Twitter. And our other sponsor, First Student, now hiring $18.75 an hour. That bonus, the hiring bonus has jumped up to $1,500 $1,500, and if you have no experience, and $2,000 if you do. That's years of service paid, and it's paid training. So,
Wow.
you really can't beat that.
You can't.
And it's
I
about to be a
think-
major raise that nobody know about it. It's a major raise coming.
Oh.
It's crazy. I can't say it though. I can't say how much, but it ain't pennies.
I heard that. Like it ain't 1875 to 1879.
Yeah. It ain't pennies. I can say that much without getting in trouble.
Y'all better jump on that.
All right, so we have an awesome show today. I have no idea what we're going to talk about because me and T didn't decide what we were going to talk about before we came in. And usually we have great shows when we do that. I do know we have local music today. That's what we're going to do today. Local music, two music videos and another video. All these songs are no more than a month old. So let's get to a song.
Let's get to him.
Who we gonna start off with? Let's start off with Andre here because he just had an album release party.
Yeah.
So
It was off the chain too.
yeah. So let's play his song and then we will talk about that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. I just saw it. I'll tell you why the music's playing.
Humble King's Radio Show.
So you see the comments?
I know I'm about to get on there.
Oh, okay. So David Sanders, Jonathan's brother. He said we have to shoot that video. They have to shoot that video 100 times.
Say that what?
They have to shoot that video 100 times.
Really?
Infatuated by the things he making pretty. God, we make it. Started from the end, but God made something to this. I started from the end, I started from I'm on one in a bliss. I'm on one, I'm headed to heaven. Forever I'ma live. Forever and ever and ever. Yeah, I awaited and infatuated by the things he making pretty. God, we make it. Started from the end, but God made something to this. Started from the end, but God made something to this. Yeah, nothing from something I ain't gotta prove. Them days were so cold, man, just like a cooler. We started from the bottom, just like a stool, but God brought us out like a bag of manure. Dirty in the hood where they shoot like Curry. Some days, man, I was worried. Had to pray, Lord have mercy on. I was protected the whole time. When I looked up and seen more time, I was down bad, but I came up on a slow grind.
Funny, I know exactly where this is, where he shot
all the
this.
time.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
And I seen
it's
it,
like
I've
on the
been
Lincoln
through it,
range.
man. I could've killed myself, heart could've stopped, yeah. But God brought me out. This is bigger than music, I hope that you see that we started from nothing, but God made something to this. I started from nothing, I started from I'm on one in a bliss. I'm on one, I'm headed to heaven, forever I'ma live. Forever and ever and ever. Yeah, I awaited and infatuated by the things he making, pray that God we make it. Started from nothing, but God made something to this. I started from nothing, I started from I'm on one in a bliss. I'm on one, I'm headed to heaven, forever I'ma live. Forever and ever and ever. Yeah, I awaited and infatuated by the things he making, pray that God we make it. Started from nothing, but God made something to this. Started from nothing, but God made something to this. Yeah, all of that pressure, I'ma apply today. Getting it now, I know I can't wait. Foot on the gas, I ain't got no brakes. Headed to heaven, oh, I can't wait. Nothing from something, that's what God makes. I'm on one today, and I ain't talking Drake. It's about to go down, jig like a flake. Them blessings is falling right up on my plate. I'm feeling amazing. Yeah, what's the occasion? Yeah, the elevation. Yeah, now celebrating. Cause we started from nothing. Yeah, started from nothing. Yeah, started from nothing. Yeah. We celebrating, yeah, we celebrating, cause we started from nothing, we started from nothing, yeah. Started from nothing, but God made something to this. I started from nothing, I started from I'm on one in a bliss. I'm on one, I'm headed to heaven, forever I'ma live. Forever and ever and ever. Yeah, I awaited and infatuated by the things he making, pray that God we make it. Started from nothing, but God made something to this. I started from nothing, I started from I'm on one in a bliss. I'm on one, I'm headed to heaven, forever I'ma live. Forever and ever and ever. Yeah, I awaited and infatuated by the things he making, pray that God we make it. Started from nothing, but God made something to this. Started from nothing, but God made something to this. Yeah.
Humble.
Alright, Omaha, you know how these stars are. They got their own noun, verbs, adjectives, prepositional phrases, and predicates. I don't know how this brother got here, but I've been hearing the buzz on the street. That's why he's here. So let people know who you are, and so how they can take advantage of your skill set, big brother.
Oh yeah, man. My name is Andre Wright, man. You know, I started from nothing, man, but I kept my faith in God, and you know, He brought nothing from something, man. So that's why I'm here, man.
Humble Kingz Radio Show.
Yes, sir.
We are back.
Yes, and black, because it's February. Say that.
Black of the black.
Yeah,
Black of the black.
The blacker the berry, the sweeter the
Sweeter
juice.
the juice.
Yeah.
Not darker the berry, sweeter the juice.
I'm pretty sure that's an explicit statement now that I think about it. Now, we probably shouldn't be saying that on a Christian show. The blacker the berry, the sweeter my juice. You know, like no, that sounds horrible. I'm married, so I can say that.
Yeah.
To my wife. It's ordained.
Yeah, to your wife.
Yeah, Song of Solomon. And, you know, there's that. Matter of fact, we'll probably get to that later.
I was gonna say I wanted to talk about it, but not name drop, because I wanted to tell you how I felt. Dropping. Oh, you could name drop, but I wanted to tell you how I felt about it as far as record label concern. How just for me.
We'll jump on that in a second.
Let's talk about Andre right quick.
Andre, first of all, dope show on Saturday night. You know, I was there. I was hot. I was sweating. I was jumping. You know, Jarrell Roach, man, the guy that started off right. You know, the show had it was like a little bit of a hiccup, but Dre was, you know, he was professional. Yeah,
very professional.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a little hiccup. It was a big hiccup.
Yeah, but it wasn't big. It wasn't so big to where it ruined the show. It was on you. Did you get the glory for that hiccup?
I mean, it wasn't my fault, but it was my program.
Yeah, but you know what though? Like I said, like it all came back together. Like it spun back around. And I don't think, like, as the audience, because like you had an audience full of like fans, families, friends. Like, you know, we kind of just like, yo, we here to support. You know, so we're not here to, you know, to judge you or anything. Like, we here to support. And his set was still dope. You know, I had to leave early. It sucked. I had to, you know, I'm a dad. I had to leave early. I wish I could have stayed behind a little bit more. But nah, man.
Yeah, because I did look at you for after the show and I didn't see you. I was like, oh, you just shit the spot.
Had to go get my girls, and I had to prepare for I had to preach the next morning. So it's like,
oh, okay.
You know. I had to get out of it. Had to, you know. Anyway, I don't even want to start making this about me. Andre Wright's album, Snap, why is it escaping me right now? It's making me so mad. What the name of his new album is? Now I gotta look it up. His album just came out. You can find it streaming everywhere. All you gotta do is just type in Andre Wright. You're gonna find my bro. Just want to make sure, man. Don't just stream it. Go out there and buy it. He puts in a lot of work in his music. Started from nothing. Duh. I don't know why I was thinking the album was called something else. Started from nothing EP. Got a lot of dope joints on there. If you've been following and rocking with Andre Wright for the past few years, you're gonna get some consistent Andre Wright. If you haven't, I suggest you tap in and get familiar with him. This man puts in him and his wife. You know, like they a dynamic duo when it comes to marketing and getting set up for shows. But he shows me mad love. Last show we just did back at the Hope Center, you know, man, he kind of helped plug me into that. That was a blast. You know, really humble.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, he and I have. It was. That show was fun. I was a little nervous about it. You know why? We ain't gonna get into that. Mm-hmm. But it turned out really. It turned out really good. I think we made some really dope connections. The gospel was preached. Dope music was performed. We had one of the dopest DJs in Omaha. They're doing our music. You know, I mean, you couldn't beat it. Just couldn't beat it. And so yeah, man. Shout out to Andre Wright, man. Started from nothing. Gotta make sure y'all check him out.
Shout out. I'm looking for this playlist and I cannot find this play. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, so did you want to get to what you wanted to talk about?
Yo, so apparently, man, it's been all the rage in the Christian hip hop world. Just a lot of different things. Scandal has been the thing, and your boy. I mean, it's been in the news. And here's the thing. I don't want to so much dwell on it a whole lot, on the grounds that, like, you know, like, I've been listening to the conversation, I've been seeing the conversations about it, and the conversations continue to get messy. But are you talking? I'm assuming you're talking about the same thing I was talking about with Gavi.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, and some pictures or whatever that was sitting in marital troubles and so forth. And what sucks is in these moments when you have somebody who's been in a Christian spotlight going through a very real issue that could happen to anybody, including people who aren't in a spotlight or whatnot. You know, the conversations tend to get really messy because of his because of the issues that he is having. Reach Records have decided to remove him from their label. I don't know. Me being not a fan. What I mean by not a fan is it's like I don't follow Reach Records that heavy. I haven't over the years. I've never been a super huge fan of their stuff. I think they're talented. I think that they're driven. There's some things that they have done that I disagree with, but you know that doesn't make them any less. I have no reason to not call them brothers in the faith. I don't. I can't. You know that. I just. You know. I just haven't been like a really big follower of them. However, I will say that this move that they made, because of the brand. Wait. Okay.
Here's the question: do you agree with them dropping him?
Okay.
So my answer. I will answer the question if you want for myself. My answer is no. I do not agree. I will tell you why I don't agree either. So I feel if this was my record, if I was Reach and I was doing the things that they do, which I mean is, you know, they have Christian artists and they have rappers who are Christian, and they all have features on their album from non-Christian non-Christian artists. So my thought process is, if I'm allowing E40 and whoever to be on you guys' song on my label, and one of my artists messed up, I shouldn't drop them. I should show them some remorse. Maybe tell them, hey, you know, get your stuff right. You can't go out and perform, or you know, I can't really tell nobody you can't perform either because that's your money. But hey, we're not going to drop no album for you for a while until we get everything right. But we're not going to drop you.
Right. So, and that, you know, and you might be onto something and that's why I said, like, I'm a little confused about what Reach Records, because I started to say something about their brand, right? And so that's why I started to say, like, I'm a little confused about what their brand is right now, because remember, like, this is the label that really on some levels kind of made it popular to be, I'm not a Christian artist. I'm an artist who's a Christian. Like, and again, I'm open for correction, but it's my understanding that the 116 crew, the Unashamed folks, right, were the ones who all of a sudden they started to take Unashamed to like from I'm unashamed of the gospel to, man, I'm unashamed of being who I am, but just understand that I'm not a Christian artist. So like there's that. And so the way that they handle Gavi is the way that a church actually, in church discipline actually handles people. Now, I'm not saying like we kick people out of the church. Well, there's sometimes like, like if you're unrepentant, we'll go ahead and remove like the fellowship, this, that, and the other, but like they handle it like in a way of saying like, yo, like really it should have just been like a straight sat down for a while. Like, yo, like let's sit you down for a minute till we get some things figured out and get you restored, as opposed to booting from the label. Now, I'm saying all of this, and I want to make sure I'm crystal clear, and I'm trying to be fair. I did not divulge in reading the articles on the details and all of this stuff. So, right? Because you'll see an article, it'll have a title, and the fact of the matter is, what if in the details that I didn't read is they didn't really boot it from the label, but they just said them out. So I don't know. What I know is the way that it's coming out, the way the story is coming across is they booted it from the label. Well, if that's the case,
that's the way I read it too.
Yeah. So again, I'm being honest. So I'm talking from a place. I'm talking from a place of ignorance, and I'm fine with what I'm talking, because here's the thing. Like, I really didn't want to like I don't care what Gavi is doing. Like me personally, like that's him. Like that's his whole thing. However, I do care about like how we represent Christianity. So you can't sit here as like if it's recognized that what he is doing is sinful and there's repentance, praise God, because sin is something that's ever present in like in all of our lives and whatnot. I don't care. I don't need the gritty details. You know.
Real quick. Q said missed signals can be created. You agree with that?
That's true. Right? Yeah. No, I wholeheartly agree. You're giving off mixed signals here, because you're at one point you're fellowshipping with people who are blatant with with the type of walk that they have, and then here you have somebody who's saying like, hey, like doing Christian music, and then he has a sinful downfall. Now, having said all of that, here's another side to that. Like I always try to be balanced, right? And I'm not trying to make excuses for anybody, but here's another side to that. Christians have a standard, and should be held to that standard. People who are non-Christians should not be held to Christian standards. Mm-hmm. But you know what I'm saying. So I can't hold E40 to the standard of somebody, to a professing believer. I won't do that. Mm-hmm. However, though, you're right on the side where you say like, but yo, you're collaborating with E40. Why not? Why are you no longer collaborating with Gavi? Like, you know what I mean? Like what's the difference?
What's the difference?
Now, and I'm processing this as I'm talking. So if it sounds like I'm double talking, I'm not. I'm processing as we're talking this out aloud. You guys get to see how my mind works by the way I'm doing this. Now, having said all of that, right? Somewhere, and I believe it's in Corinthians, it talks about like not fellowshipping with a brother or somebody who's of the faith who's in sexual immorality, right? Or not, like they shouldn't be. And like, I wish I had these scriptures together.
What's it say so I can try to search it? What's it say?
So it's about like not fellowshipping when you have somebody within the church who's in sexual immorality, and it's like you cut off the fellowship from them, right?
Well, how would the word be though? Would it say fellowship or?
My goodness, let me. I'll tell you what. Let's go into the next song.
Okay.
And then when we come back out of the song, I'll definitely have that passage together, because again, I want to make sure I'm saying it right, and so. Let's go into this next joint. What's the next joint that we got?
I'm trying to remember. Oh, let's go with Jesus' little brother here.
Let's go with Jesus' little brother.
All right.
Humble Kingz Radio Show.
Told him I need Rico to shoot this one. Yeah.
101E. Sometimes it's just easy to forget about Jesus around seasons like these. But it's easy to forget a newborn king. Okay. A star is born
Literally, God the creator came to experience the misery. We looking out at history, the stories that the prophets speak. Came through a virgin hair of wool and a bronze feet. No creek to put Jesus in like Moses was. The king was hating on him, but it was a time to shed the blood. 3 wise men came with 3 big bags. This is God in the flesh. Went back and took a different path. We looking at the reason of the season. Let's celebrate that death is defeated. It was finished on the cross, but it started at the birth. Let the angels sing, today's the birth of a king. We looking at the reason of the season. Let's celebrate that death is defeated. It was finished on the cross, but it started at the birth. Let the angels sing, today's the birth of a king. We looking at the reason of the season. Let's celebrate that death is defeated. It was finished on the cross, but it started at the birth. Let the angels sing, today's the birth of a king. We looking at the reason of the season. Let's celebrate that death is defeated. It was finished on the cross, but it started at the birth. Let the angels sing, today's the birth of a king. Big respect to stepfathers like Joseph, carrying all the weight of your family problems on your shoulders. That's a strong black man, for God to pick him. Plus he got them carpenter hands. Find work in any land. Had to swallow his pride, cause now he wait 9 months before he know his wife. Divorcing her in secret, man, he really thought wise. But God opened his eyes to see the Holy Spirit planted the seed, dwelling inside. Well respected as a man of God. He knew his word, but who would think he be entrusted with raising the word, providing the food, the clothing, and the shelter too. Man, he was learning while teaching, cause the boy just knew about his father business. Man, you try to protect him, but the boy don't listen. But he got your attention, try to be a father figure to the heavenly father. Man, you was looking at a baby, but you're seeing the author. We looking at the reason of the season. Let's celebrate that death is defeated. It was finished on the cross, but it started at the birth. Let the angels sing, today's the birth of a king. We looking at the reason of the season. Let's celebrate that death is defeated. It was finished on the cross, but it started at the birth. Let the angels sing, today's the birth of a king. We looking at the reason of the season. Let's celebrate that death is defeated. It was finished on the cross, but it started at the birth. Let the angels sing, today's the birth of a king. We looking at the reason of the season. Let's celebrate that death is defeated. It was finished on the cross, but it started at the birth. Let the angels sing, today's the birth of a king. The epitome of a black queen is the Black Madonna. Found favor from the Holy Father. How did your spirit react? Did postpartum hit? Cause 9 months is a long time, so that's a big part of it. More spiritual when you get pregnant. Did you have moments when you just felt his presence? Did it change you? You know, having God's essence in his purest form. Spiritual connection that you had with your firstborn. Let's remember what we celebrate this for. It ain't gotta be on the December 25th. But we just celebrate that Christ was born. Amen.
Humble Kingz Radio Show.
Jesus' little brother.
Shout out to G's little brother. He getting them knockers.
Yeah, rapping about his big brother. Again, everywhere you can stream music, man, Jesus' little brother, look him up. You know, YouTube, he's dropping videos. He be working hard. That brother be working.
He dropping a lot of music, and actually, hold on, I'm trying to see if he dropped that as an album or just a single. Oop, that's a little loud. I think he just dropped. That's just a single. So he dropped Beast Out the Belly in October of last year, and then but he's still been dropping. He's still been dropping music like right after that though.
Listen, he been working like crazy, man. He been trying to get me in a video shoot for a minute. I just be busy, like dude, like I be busy.
Yeah, cause he did like 4 back to back.
Yeah, he be doing them. So man, hey y'all make sure y'all go and support that brother, man. Help him make some of that back. Cause I know what he doing ain't cheap. Yeah,
right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I went and found that passage. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 11. Actually, I'm gonna start at verse 9.
1 Corinthians 5 and 11.
Oh yeah, but I want to start at verse 9 actually. All right, and it says, I wrote to you in my letter not to associate with sexually immoral people, not at all meaning the sexually immoral of this world or the greedy and swindlers or idolaters, since then you would need to go out of the world. But I am writing to you not to associate with anyone who bears the name of brother if he is guilty of sexual immorality or greed, or is an idolater, reviler, drunkard, or swindler, not even to eat with such a one. And I think we're talking about, look at this next verse. For what have I to do with judging outsiders? Is it not those inside the church whom you are to judge? God judges those outside, purge the evil person from among you. So, an argument could be made that Reach Records was following.
What was that last one you did?
That last verse?
Yeah.
That was verse 13. I read verses 9 to 13.
Okay.
Right? Verses 9 to 13, 1 Corinthians 5. Our argument could be made that Reach Records was actually complying with that passage right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can make that argument. And I think they'd have a good case there if they did that. When it comes to this, it's like, all right, well, Gavi, you know what? You're saying that you're a brother, and here you are doing sexually immoral stuff. Man, we got to drop you from our label for right now. You know, and the thing about this is, it's like this was in the context of a church when Paul wrote this. Mm-hmm. This is the very same chapter where they had a man who was sleeping with his stepmom. In the Corinthian church, and Paul was like, "Yo, pagans ain't even that nasty," and like, "Yeah, you letting this dude, come to church, probably leading the worship services and stuff like, no, y'all need to get him from among you." You know what I mean? Like he said, like, man, like he's corrupting the fellowship, and so when you have this type of thing going on in the fellowship, church discipline need to be enacted. Now it's completely different if a person is sexually immoral, and then that person is repentant of that sexual sin. You know, we're talking about somebody who is unrepentant. So now the question becomes, well, was Gavi unrepentant? Was Gavi was like, yeah, I sent them pictures, or whatever, which I can't imagine it being that way. So I don't, there's levels to this conversation. There's details that we don't know, and whatnot. But you're in chapter 6. You need to be in chapter 5.
Oh, it jumped over.
Yeah. I was looking at that. I was like, that wasn't what I just read. Yeah.
There you go.
Chapter 5. There you go. Yeah. So as you see, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's telling you, like, our judgment, like the judgment that we're supposed to enact, it's supposed to take place in the church for the church people. You know, those who are in the world, we carry the gospel to them, but they're going to do things like the world does. Like, it makes sense that they're sexually immoral, or that they're drunkards, or that they're, or that they're idolaters. Like, that makes sense to them. But when you got somebody who's saying, like, yo, I'm a Christian, and they in there false flagging and living in unrepentant sin, well, we have to correct that. We have to check that.
Right.
So very interesting conversation. Something that we didn't see coming. I don't think anybody ever does. Or whatnot. You got something you want to say? Because you all over the place. Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, Yaya says she agrees.
Yeah.
No, I'm not giving. Yeah. She said she's over here. Amen.
It's a sad situation. Like, I feel bad for him. I feel bad for his wife.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him.
We should definitely.
Because it can happen to anybody, really. To think it can't happen to you. It can happen to anybody. You got to keep that armor on and keep your guard up. Because the second you drop it.
Yeah. One of the things that I hate is I think a lot of people really misunderstand the Christian life, though. The Christian walk. Being a Christian doesn't mean that we're sinlessly perfect.
Right.
It just means that our relationship with sin is different. It means that when we sin, we hate it.
Yeah.
And that we have an advocate.
We feel bad for it. Right. We feel bad about it.
Yeah, we're sorrowful, and we strive to not do it. But it exists. It's there. And what sucks is when somebody in the spotlight like that gets put on blast, gets exposed. Folks start saying, "See, I thought he was a Christian." Blah blah blah. And like, I get it. Like, yes, we are held to a different standard, but like, yo, don't think for a second that being a Christian means that we don't fall into sin in the same way that a non-believer lives in it.
Right, right.
See, they're completely different. Christians will fall into sin. Non-believers live in it.
There
You
you
know what I
go.
mean? And so, but if you say that you're a Christian and you're living in sin, well, then we have a duty as the church to say, yo, you gotta listen. Either you with us or you're not. You gotta,
Hmm.
if your response is to not be repentant, then we're gonna go ahead and have to discontinue your fellowship with us.
Right.
And again, I don't see that a whole lot. That's something that we've gotten away from as a modern church. But that's a very biblical thing that to do, and so forth. And we discontinue their fellowship with the hopes and prayer of restoring them into the fellowship.
So when you say discontinue your fellowship, you saying that they can't go to the church? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, indeed. Like you don't have a right as a member of the church. Again, look at what they're saying. Yeah, I know that's tough. Like you looking like that look on your face just further highlights how rare it is for this to happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, again, we talking about somebody who is unrepentant, somebody who is not sorrowful of their sin. Because
Oh,
the
I thought you
very
were talking about sorrowful. I'm like, what? I
yeah,
messed up, and then y'all kick me out and say come back when you get right.
no,
Like that, it doesn't
complete,
work that way.
right, no, completely different. Yeah, we're talking about somebody who chooses to, like, for example, you know what? I'm gonna say this. This may be a little messy. I don't even care. For example, there is a preacher. I ain't gonna tell you where. I ain't gonna say his name. I ain't gonna say what church he goes to. There was a preacher who cheated on his wife, right? And divorced his wife to marry the woman that he
He
cheated on
cheated
her
on
with.
with. Hmm.
This is a pastor we're talking about,
Hmm.
right? What should have happened was he should have been removed from his position.
Hmm.
He wasn't, and he still holds it down. And everybody, I ain't gonna say everybody, but a lot of preachers and pastors within that same city knows who it is, knows what he's doing, and they still invite that man to come preach at his pulpits. That's out of order. That's not biblical. What should have happened was that, like, well, for one, he should have been allowed to come preach at their pulpits. And what should have happened in that
Are you
church
talking
was
about the
that,
same preacher I know?
I don't know, you may know, you may not. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
When we
yeah,
first moved out here, we visited a church and that happened, and we left. We never went back. So
yeah, yeah,
we figured it out. Like I was like,
yeah,
yeah, I'm good.
yeah. And legit, that's what should happen. Either people in that congregation should have left that church, or he should have been voted out as pastor. Like,
Yeah,
why?
I
Because
can't tell you how I would have felt if I was still there.
mhm.
Um, but it was just like, I don't know if I want to be.
Right,
You know
right,
what I mean? It was like
right.
I'm
That's
walking into mess. It's one thing that your church should be like your home. So if certain things get messy, you try to fight it out unless God tell you to leave.
yeah,
But for the most part, I'm walking into potential mess,
yeah.
and I don't.
Nah, right. And so, or let's say, like, let's go a little bit more closer to home for a lot of folk. I grew up in the church. I've been a part of the choir. I knew for a fact that the biggest freaks were on the choir. I was one of them. You know what I mean? I should have been sat down. I should have been but like nobody. I was a little bit more slick. But even still, though, like, you have a choir full of choirs full of sexually immoral people, and it's like, yo, listen, you can't be up here
I
doing
think when it comes to, I don't know. I don't know if I can say this without sounding like a hypocrite, and I probably will, and that's fine. I think when it comes to, like, if you're preaching or you're going up to lead in prayer or scriptures or
praise and
praise
worship, and
team
all, yeah,
worship,
yeah,
you're already at a higher standard than a lot of other people, right? Um, so here's where I say it could be hypocritical on my end. I know that everybody is different, and you can't talk to everybody the same, and you can't treat everybody the same, right?
yeah,
If you're a football coach, there's some people you can yell at and say, "Why'd you drop that ball? Go catch it next time," and they're fine. And there's other people you cannot yell at. You just say, "Don't worry about it. Get it the next time." I'm the person you got to yell at and grab me by the face mask and jerk me around, and then I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm not gonna mess up again." Everybody can't do that.
yeah,
So when it comes to Christians in church and you messing up, everybody's not that person that you can get approached, that you can literally approach and say, man, you're messing up and you need to get it together, blah blah blah, because they're just gonna be like, who are you, and walk off. And sometimes we don't really want that, and we want to be able to tell them the truth, but we got to understand that everybody's a little different in what I'm saying. So the point that I'm making is, I remember when the church that I joined in Columbia, Missouri. So I was still messy. I got saved and everything, but of course you don't stop everything immediately, right?
Right,
You
right.
know, I'm still messy. I'm still out in the streets. So they didn't, to make sure that I run my butt to church, they knew that I love music and love doing sound. So they were like, you know, we're gonna bring you back here and you're gonna do this because you can't miss church. You're gonna be here, and that was the best thing that happened to me. Instead of them pulling me to the side and giving me the business like they're my parents, you know, which probably would end up me leaving and going, you can't judge me. I end up staying and I end up getting my stuff together because I started being around good people. Now, there was a point that also made me do right. So they decided that they were going to start a men's praise and worship team. And so they were like, oh, you know, can you join? So I was like, yeah. So I walked over and I joined. And the first thing they said before we started practicing, before we even sung at the doing service, anything, they were like, look, they were like, no judgment here, but now you're on a different level. You're a praise team. They were like, there's certain things you have to realize that you cannot do outside of church if you're doing it. If you're going to a club on Saturday nights, you can't come back in here the next day and sing, you know, because everything that we do, and she made a point. She goes, everything that we do from now on, when you go up there to sing, when somebody walks in this church, especially if they're not a member of this church, and they see you and they know you out there doing dirt, they're just gonna look at you and go, see, this is why I don't go to church. Look at this dude out there doing this and that, and he's singing about how he loved Jesus and praising everything, and I'm gone. And it made me change. It made me go, ooh, you're right. I really need to get my stuff together and watch what I'm doing out here, because I can potentially cause somebody not to go to church or
Mm,
not to go to Jesus.
mm. Yeah, I want to say, I want to say yes and no to some of that. Yes and no. Here's why I say yes and no. Some of those things are like some things could be like preferences versus precepts. But however, like, you're right. I think that each case has to be handled. Okay,
Differently.
like I don't think I don't think there's a cookie cutter way to handle people when it comes to,
Right,
you know what I
right,
mean? Like, and that's not a pick and favorites thing. You're right. You got to meet people where they are. You know, there's discipleship. You know what I'm saying? Again, I want to make sure I'm crystal.
Yeah,
When I talk
'cause-
about discontinuing fellowship, we're talking about somebody who doesn't act like a
I-
Christian
all the
or act
time,
like,
right.
or you know, say somebody who doesn't act like they even want to be Christian. It's like, what are you here for? Are you here because you like to sing? You
Yeah.
know, like, no, there's more to it than that. Or are you here because you love God? Because if you love God, you're gonna hate your sin. You're gonna repent. But like, if you too in love with your sin, or too in love with whatever money you making, or too in love with whatever else over God, then this ain't the place for you. Why you even want to? Why would you even want to be here? Like, why are you coming? You know what I mean? Like, and so that's different. I think like with you, you know what I'm saying, and by your mission, it's like, man, you first got saved. Nobody comes into that salvation and just got it all figured out. And some habits just straight die hard, right?
Mhm.
And so it's completely different from somebody who's desiring to grow on some level, as opposed to somebody who's like, yo, man, I'm here. You know, it's Sunday. This is what I do on Sundays, but Monday through Saturday, this is what I'm gonna do. And this is what I'm
Hey,
about.
there's a phrase. It says everybody in the church ain't safe, because there's some
Yeah,
people in the church that's there
yeah.
just to tear it apart. My cousin made a good point here. I'm gonna put that up there. It says simply the congregation standards is different from the pastor.
Yes, indeed. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So my headset is screwing up again. Do you have any other music?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You want to go back to that, or you want to finish
Hey,
this thought real quick?
let's go into another song while I get my mic set up. Shout out to Turtle Cooper. She said something about the status of the congregation.
Yeah, I put it back up there right
Yeah,
quick.
simply the congregation standard is different from the pastor, and you know, and that may be. I think that's true, but I think also when we come back, I want to address this idea that I agree. I get it. I think there's like a yes and a no. Like, there's a balance to that. So let's play some music real quick while I get my microphone right, because I don't know what's going on here, and then we can come back and we can address that and wrap up. I take it.
Yep.
Yep. Cool. So we'll be back. Humble Kingz.
All right, Humble Kingz, y'all.
Humble Kingz Radio Show.
On the mix. And searching.
Oh, don't mess up. I love the song.
Searching. Running. Running and running. And chasing. And searching.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Running and running, will I ever stop? I don't know, I'm never satisfied. When I get where I wanna go, it's always on to the next thing. Next car, next girl, next phone, next dream. Keep it chasing the wind, I can't ever seem to grab it. The only way to peace would be buried in my casket. I've got everything I've ever thought I wanted, yet here I am running, still chasing something. I just landed the job of my dreams, still not content. I just need a little bit more of that green. If I could get that raise, I could get that car, I could buy that big house with that big backyard. That held me over for a couple of months, but here I am again, still missing something. I'm back on the track, running my fastest, chasing the wind, but I still can't grab it. I need my second wind, but I'm way past it. On the top before I blow a gasket. I just want to find fulfillment in life. I guess I'll just keep running till the day that I die. To the day that I die. To the day that I die. Guess I'll keep running. Yeah. I'ma keep on running. I'm so sick of tired of running. I'm done playing these games. Been searching for a while now. Finally time for a change. No more running from these demons. Time to run to the game. Gotta keep my eyes focused on greater
Humble Kingz Radio Show.
And we are back.
Yes, like my back pain keeps coming back.
Like yours.
Yeah. I had a couple 100-pound female stand on my back today. Felt good. I was like, yes, queen. walk it. Yeah, so just to close up, she said something, Turtle Cooper, simply the congregation standard is different from the pastor. In regards to the position of pastorship, yes. In regards to being a Christian, no. Everybody has the same standard. And I know we like to, and I'm saying this as a pastor, I know we like to put pastors on some type of a pedestal. And yes, there is a certain honor that should be afforded to them for the calling that they have in their life. But really, there are no superstar Christians. There are no advanced Christians. Like no, we are all Christians. Like we're held to that same standard. But here's the gospel. And I think this would be a good spot to kind of like wrap up. Here's the gospel. The gospel is we suck at doing life. We suck at being good. We suck at being meeting the standard that God's holiness will actually require us to have. Mm-hmm. And because we're unable to reach that standard in and of ourselves, Jesus Christ comes down and lives the life that we couldn't live, dies the death that we deserve to die, and in turn issue us the righteousness that we could never earn on our own, thereby allowing us to have a life that we could never obtain. And so we are going to be we are going to be we're going to be Christians who struggle with different things. And Turtle Cooper responded again. She said like it was aimed at towards being the pastor, and I wish, you know what, I wish sometimes stuff gets lost in comments, and I want to make sure that I'm
Yeah.
understanding that, that we can understand her comments. And so
my cousin would game bang on you. She's saved, but she a game banger.
that's cool. Hey, you know what? Like blood of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Right. No, but straight up, Cooper, I appreciate your feedback, and feel free in the comments to further clarify, just to make sure I don't misunderstand like what you were misunderstanding what you were saying, because sometimes things get lost in the comments. But definitely qualifications of a pastor, like there's certain things that need that are there that pastors must meet. But as far as being a Christian, as far as like what it means to be a Christian, everybody's held to that same standard. But what's, like I said, we all fall short of hitting that mark. Sin is a very present thing. You know, it's a very present thing in the life of a Christian. Just because we're Christians doesn't mean that we're floating in holiness from point A to point B. It is not our righteousness that grants us access to the Father. It's the righteousness of Christ, and that comes strictly by the grace of God through faith in Christ, trust in who He is. You know, and so when you have somebody whose relationship with sin has not changed, that is evidence of there being no salvation in that person's life. And so we want to continue to pray for people like Garvey. We want to continue to pray for people like Reach Records. There's a lot that can be said, but again, remember, we're all people on the outside looking in. There's a lot that we don't know, you know, and so we want to make sure we're really careful about these stories that hit the media and so forth. There's a lot that can be said about, again, like I mentioned that story of that pastor earlier. There's a lot that I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But however,
Yeah, don't try to search too much on that. You'll end up seeing something you don't want to see.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like there's stuff that we don't need to know. But you know, we can only be concerned with what's happening in our immediate sphere of influence with the people with whom we fellowship. And these are the people who, when we see them out of pocket as Christian brothers and sisters, we ought to say, yo, we need to get back in the pocket. And if they see us out of pocket as our Christian brothers and sisters, they need to tell us, yo, you need to get right. Because that's the loving thing to do. You know, that judgment starts in the house of the Lord, and we are to judge each other righteously and rightly. That's John 7:24, by the word, not condemn, but to judge and say, hey, yo, what you're doing is sinful. Cut that out. And that's okay to say that. That's a loving thing to say. You know, and again, like how you said earlier, I wholeheartedly agree. There's no cookie cutter way of doing that other than, hey, address them. If they don't repent, bring a witness. If they don't repent, bring it before the church. If they don't repent, well, then we're just gonna go ahead and have to discontinue fellowship. That's biblical, you know. Until you come, and when they come back, we discontinue fellowship with the hopes of them coming back repentant. And when they come back, it's not like, hey, I don't know, man, remember how like, no, it's welcome back. You know, be ready to receive them and to restore them in the faith. That's biblical, right. You know what I mean? And so that's what it's be all about. So I would love to see some restoration to Gavi, and I would love to see some restoration to those. I know we was going to talk about this the other week because it was a hot topic. I want to see some restoration to those who have walked away from the faith.
Yeah. So I have a question on that with Gavi and those who have walked away from the faith. Do you stop listening to their music, or you continue to listen to their older music, not their newer stuff? Like, okay, if a person walk away from the faith and they continue to rap, I understand if you don't listen to that because it's not Christian rap anymore. But do you still listen to their old stuff that was Christian rap? Do you still listen to Garvey even though he messed up? Do you still listen to what's I'm not going to drop his name, but we also had one who came out and said he was gay. You know,
I'll drop his name. Everybody is John Givens. Everybody knows that.
So I didn't know we were name dropping. So yeah, but I didn't know.
It's public knowledge. It'd be one thing if somebody came to you in confidence. This is all public knowledge.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah. So
and this is going to lead to another question I have. You know, hopefully we'll be able to make it in the 10 minutes. But go ahead. Do you still listen or no?
So here's what I say. I listen to everything that's good, right? I listen to good music. Now, it's hard for me to listen to music from somebody who says that they're Christian and their life is in rebellious to God. And so because of that, like for example, I don't listen to Tone or B Slade or whatever he wants to call himself now. And he makes dope music, but I don't listen. I have a hard time really supporting that.
Right.
Only because of him professing to be a Christian. It's hard for me to support somebody who's false flagging like that. You know what I mean? Like that. And that's a personal conviction of mine. I'm not gonna say it's sinful to listen to that music. You know what I'm saying? But a personal conviction, I don't. Well, on the flip side, today I was listening to some R. Kelly, and we all know the story about him.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to I Wish. I can't listen to You Remind Me of My Jeep, and I don't see nothing wrong.
Right.
Because those songs to me communicate something completely different than what I Wish communicates.
Yeah, that's no, because I tell people that all the time. I can separate the two. It's certain songs that I can't listen to the same thing. I can't listen to you start off talking about my mind's telling me no. I'm like, nope, I can't do it. But I can listen to a lot of other songs that it's not near.
Yeah. I can listen to Gotham City from R. Kelly, but I can't, I can't listen to a lot of his some of his sexual songs. I can't listen because in my mind I'm thinking he wrote that to some teenage girl or young.
Right.
You know what I mean? However, those other songs I could probably I never really liked I Believe I Can Fly, but I can listen to that over some of his other stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But and so that's what I mean. So that's why it's like I wouldn't. That's what I mean. Like it's a conviction thing with me. I wouldn't knock anybody else who listens to the stuff. It's just for me. I wouldn't.
So real quick. So question. We got like 8 minutes. A little over 8 minutes. When does it become having a conversation compare versus gossip? I saw this on Twitter. Somebody was like, when is this becoming we having a conversation and when is it just gossip? Even though it's true.
That's a really good question. And the way that I would answer that is sin has always been a heart issue, right? It's not the what, it's the how, it's the motive, it's the reasoning behind it, right? So talking is not a sin, right? Gossip is. And so if I come to you, it's like, yo, you hear about Gavi and on them pictures, man? I wonder who he's sending them to. I wonder what that was about, like when it becomes, when you're in it for like the juice of it, when you're in it for the tea.
Okay.
Right?
So hey, Gavi messed up and sent some pictures, but man, who was he sending that to? You saw the picture, okay?
Yeah. So now, on the news aspect, Reach Records released Gavi from their label, right? Did they have to give the details as to why? That's debatable. Who knows? Maybe was Garvey was like, yo, just go ahead and be honest with the folks and say, that's when it gets kind of weird because, for example, I think people were released from Humble Beast at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But nobody ever really talked about why. It was just like, yo, he's released, and we left it at that. And folks got to speculating, became gossip, right? Here. It becomes news or it's like, hey, Gavi did this. It's like, okay, well, let's talk about this. What does this mean? Did Reach make, how you and I are talking about it? We're not gossiping on the grounds that here's public information. Gossip is really more so where
you're trying to figure it out.
You're trying to get the tea. You may be keeping it secret from a few people or whatever. I don't know. Or maybe you don't have all the details. So you kind of putting your own little spin on the story. I think there's a lot of elements and levels there. But again, it's also what's your motive for talking about it? What is the motive? Are you trying to be messy? If you try to be messy, then yes, it's gossip and it's sinful. But if we're informing people and bringing what's happening in the light of the gospel and saying yo, here, this is something that can happen to anybody. Here's one of the reasons why you got to be vigilant because this stuff can happen. This can happen to any of you. Any of us can fall victim to this. Here's what the Bible says about this. There's redemption in Jesus Christ for this type of sin. Completely different. That's a completely different motive there, And like I said, and quite frankly, that's probably one of the reasons why I kind of stayed away from the article because it's like I don't need to know any more than what the title of the article said.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. From what I got from the title and from the comments, that's all I need to know. I don't need to go digging to find out more about it.
See, I didn't even get it from the article. My social media is very controlled.
Yeah.
My Facebook is very controlled. My Twitter is very controlled.
So what you're saying is you want to see my DC post.
Yeah. besides that.
You
But
know the
what I'm
juice, and you
saying
know.
is,
Yeah.
there's usually nothing that flies through my Facebook or YouTube or not my Facebook or Twitter that's going to upset me or make me mad or whatever or make me go make a comment that I shouldn't make. I control everything that goes through. I don't need nothing. So in my Twitter, it's mostly wrestling or Christian hip hop. So
Yeah.
it's going to tell me, hey, everybody's talking about this person. And I'm like, oh, why? So that's how I found out. And then the articles came out. So it came out for me a lot faster and more than I wanted it to.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, like there's certain things. I used to be like I used to be really big. I'm saying like you can ask anybody who knew me on Facebook around 2011, 2012. I used to be really big on the scandalous stuff. I'm like, oh, look at this, look what they done did now. You know what I'm saying, and all this other stuff. And it was like I did that under the guise of being like righteous. Right?
Hmm.
Really, I was being sanctimoniously. Oh, what's the word? I was being like a sanctified ratchet gossiper. And I thank God for deliverance, man. Like that was one of my downfalls, and I thank God for the. So like now, I don't feed into the stuff. Like look, okay, like here's the scandal. It's out there. I personally, the only time I really feed into it and listen to it is when the actual person comes out and says, "Yo, this is me. This is what I did, and because of this, I'm stepping down now. Pray for me and my family." That's the only time I would go and indulge the article or something like that. One of my favorite teachers, Erwin Lutzer, did he had a scandal. He came out and he said he was honest about it. That's the only time I sat and opened up. I didn't read anything else about what he did. I only read his statement on it, his honest statement on it, and why he's stepping down and stepping away, and those are the type of things that I will indulge. So, yeah, man, be vigilant, be encouraged.
Yeah, so that's the music. We got 4 minutes. I forgot to bring something up real quick. I don't even know if it's going to be big enough for me to read it because I should have been prepared for this. But Redbridge is actually doing a virtual college tour on March 5th at 10 a.m. Um, First Students is actually sponsoring this too. So you guys will be able to, if you don't have a ride there, we are sending out buses. They're sending out buses to pick people up. I'll be there to help with sound and visual. But if you want to join, if you know somebody who's trying to join college, get ready, around that time for them to do college, to come and do this virtual college tour. It's going to be about 10 or 12 virtual tours. They're going to have a few speakers. You got to sign up. So I will go ahead and call that number that's on there, 402-915-2586, because you need to sign up by February 25th of this month. But we'll throw that up next week too, and it'll be. I'll try to make it a little bigger so everybody can read it. But yeah, I think this is an awesome thing that's going on in the community, and it's going to help people out. And I'm so happy that I was able to connect Redbridge and our sponsors together. That's the craziest thing is I was I was able to go, hey. Hey, sponsor Redbridge. Maybe First Student help you guys out, picking students up and taking them there, and got in contact with Jennifer Morgan, and Jennifer Morgan was like, "Yeah, how many buses they need?" I said, "Maybe two." She said, "All right, we got you." So we had a meeting Monday. We had a meeting Monday. It went well, and I'm very excited. I'm very
Yeah,
excited for this.
shout out to First Student, man. I don't think anybody in the community is for driving buses out here like they are, man. Like,
Right,
so I'm just saying, like, yo, First Student is where it's at.
right. You go to First Student, not just because they're our
Yeah,
sponsor. Go. I'm telling you. Trust me.
yeah. Just go there. They dope people,
Yeah,
man. Yo,
and they out in the community too.
yeah,
So
they out here. Yo, man, I
yeah,
love them to life. They're my folks, man. Listen, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get my brat to bed, and then I gotta go hit the gym. I'm trying to get swollen, y'all. I'm trying to get my body tight for the summer, but for my wife.
yeah, that's the end of the show. So we're about to say goodbye, and for everybody who's watching, I got one more video for you. It's gonna be Eternal. She had this old school song that I really like that came out about 2 months ago. So that's the video we're gonna play. I don't know if T gonna stick around and watch it because it's actually pretty good. But I'm saying goodnight to you, T.
Hey, grace and peace, man. Love y'all to life. Y'all be
All right.
good, man.
Humble Kings Radio Show.
It's all right, quick.
Yeah, man, I'm probably about to go ahead and log off so I can get this girl in the bed. She out there wilding out. And my wife is like, y'all done?
Yeah, right.
Nah. Hey, man, plus I got to get over there to the gym anyway, so I got to be meeting the preacher, man.
Oh wow, it didn't even download. Go ahead, I'm listening.
I need to give you a call. I want to ask you because my wife and her back pains, and I want to see where you get whatever it is that you be getting for your backs and all that stuff, and see if maybe it'll help her out because she got one of those type of back pains where nobody can see anything on a scanner, and I don't see nothing wrong, So I told her, I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna talk to you
Real quick. I've been telling you, I'm in physical therapy, and they just added this thing called called dry needling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so bad because they literally just sticking a needle in where you have knots at in my shoulder because it felt like rocks. So just over and over again, just sticking it because it's dry, so they're not pumping anything in it. They're just sticking you with a needle. I bruise up and I'm sore. But last week I couldn't look all the way down like this. But now I can, and I can look more to the left and to the right, and I couldn't do that. I only was able to look straight up without any pain.
Basically, you know what it sounded like they just did? Repackaged acupuncture.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But they're going deep in your tissue, though.
It sounds bloody, like.
It's not. It feels like they're sticking a needle in one end and it's going all the way in on the other side. And it feels like they're putting like 4 or 5 on one side and then 4 or 5 on the other side and leaving them in. But it's literally they're just sticking you until you get this muscle spasm. So literally when they hit the spot, you jerk, and because it feels like they're touching something they're not supposed to be touching. But that's what's supposed to happen. And then they know that they're in a spot, and then they go and do it again.
You ever wonder who was the first person
to do that? Right.
Let me get off of here, man. Hey, listen, I love you to life, man. We'll be talking to you. Man.
Yep. Hit me up. If you want to call me tonight, that's cool. If it's after 9, just text me and I'll call you back.
All right, sounds good, man.
All right, last video for everybody. Once I get that, there we go, because I forgot to.
We gon' take it back. Just a messenger with a mic in my hand, and I'ma do what I can to inspire every child, woman, and man. Just a messenger with a mic in my hand, and I'ma do what I can to inspire every child, woman, and man. Sweet like now later, pop a lifesaver. God is the greatest. Ignore the haters. Salute to all the hip hop greatest. We got nothing else can fade us. I'ma take it back when we was kids. Hit the playground and just wanted to dance. Simon says stop, Simon says go. Better beat the street like home for show. Tick tick tock and pop lock, and when we get the pop in, it ain't no stopping. Patty cake, bake a man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. I grew up on banana pudding, peach cobbler, sharing with my friends. They ask me, hey, who do I serve? I serve God, live by His word. Just a messenger with a mic in my hand, and I'ma do what I can to inspire every child, woman, and man. Just a messenger with a mic in my hand, and I'ma do what I can to inspire every child, woman, and man. No hesitation, earthquake shaking, no limitations. We was born to be greatest. Pour out the haterade in your cup. Destiny, destined to be great, no luck. Instead of drowning a sister, build her up. Instead of downing a brother, build him up. And I'm tired of seeing all people locked up. Let freedom ring until they get stuck. Let the kids play and don't get bucked. Teach them in the way that she go, now that's what's up. We can lead them to the water, we can make them drink, but we can help create peace so they have room to think. And them selfish ways, that attitude stink. Mental illness is real, so sweep it under your feet. Now they ask me, hey, who do I serve? I serve God, live by His word. Just a messenger with a mic in my hand, and I'ma do what I can to inspire every child, woman, and man. Just a messenger with a mic in my hand, and I'ma do what I can to inspire every child, woman and man. Tick, tick, tock, and pop, a pop, lock, and when we get the pop in, it ain't no stopping. Patty cake, bake a man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can.
With a little bit of water, we can make them drink, but we can help create peace so they have room to think.
We just a chosen few, doing what we call to do. God saved the day, and now the life is filled with better days.
Just a messenger. Just a messenger.
All right, that is the show. I'm out of here. Shout out to Eternal. Um, that's my Cali sister. She is actually nominated for like Artist of the Year, hip hop, Christian hip hop Artist of the Year. Andre was too. So if you guys see that flying around, go ahead and vote for them. And that's it. I see you guys next week. Let me get this banner off the bottom, and I'll see you next week.
Hey everybody, it's Jonathan Sanders here, Minister of Music at Redbridge Ministries. And hey, we need you. If you are gifted in media, you sing, you dance, you work with cameras, listen, there's a place for you here at Redbridge. If you want to be a part, contact us at 402-779-9823. I can't wait to hear from you. I'll see you soon.
Beep, 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 beep.